And so it is pretty powerful, but we are looking for an improvement. So we're looking for a better tool out there. They call them CPQs, configuration pricing quotation tool. And so we'll look at it and improving that in the future. We've got a couple companies that we've been really interviewing to see if we can migrate to there. So hopefully that'll be improving in the future. And then we're Carlos, and there's a lot of focus now trying to get a quotation and quotation team to be able to help the sales teams out there. And hopefully we can leverage that over to the channel partners as well. But today, a lot of the quotations done by the sales managers, we know that. We want to fix that and move that on. So that's another area that we want to look at. And specifically, this was a list of a tool. And a tool we want that can easily publicize or you can use to create a quotation for a customer. And it has all the templates, right? So you simply say, listen, I've got a Micronet, I've got a compressor application, and it pulls in the case studies for compressors. It pulls in all the information on the Micronet. I've got a couple maybe I got an HMI I want to bring in. So it brings all that from a template and makes it a lot easier to create a quotation for a customer. So again, we're trying to slowly build these tools up, so make your life a little easier and bring in some help there, right? Okay, didn't talk about it yet, but another focus of ours is going to be certification-based training. So training. We hear you. You guys have told us for years. We're finally, not that we didn't listen, but we're finally making a change there. Is bringing out a lot of training, and really, I'm going to give you the list here in a little bit, but really, it's kind of focused or broken down, segmented in these different type of courses. Onboarding, really overview courses. What's a turbine? What's an engine? What's power management? What's a generator? What's a compressor? And then the next overview course will be, well, okay, then what Woodward products can be applied to those, right? What can I apply them to an engine? What Woodward products can I apply to an aeroderivative gas turbine? So all those are kind of what we would call overview courses for in any, even channel partners, right? You hire in a new guy, you want them just to understand a little bit about what Woodward solutions are. Those would be great overview courses. Then we'll drill down into application-specific courses. So, okay, you want to know exactly how an engine, the core software control works for an engine, or the core software application program works on an aeroderivative gas turbine. You want to understand a lot of that stuff. We're going to bring out that specific focus points on aeroderivative, heavy frame, compressor, large engine, small engine, and hydro. So all those different type of applications we're going to focus on. Product specific, we're also then going to bring in product specific. As you know, that's great. Once you understand the application, you understand what an engine and all that stuff is, great. Now you have to understand the specifics on a product, because you're going to be out there in front of the customer and they're going to ask you, well, do you have redundant blah, 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 and you have redundant communications? You have to be able to answer that, we want to position you to be able to answer that. So product-specific courses we're going to focus on. Woodward differentiation, and people talk about that. You talk battle cards, you can talk different type of differentiation, but how do you sell against a competitor? So you got to, and there's many competitors out in different applications. So for each of those applications, we're going to focus on the key competitors and how do you sell against them. And many of you sales managers, you know it. You go from one customer to another.
不同的应用程序有许多竞争对手，因此，对于这些应用程序中的每一个，我们将重点关注主要竞争对手。不同的应用程序有许多竞争对手，因此，对于这些应用程序中的每一个，我们将重点关。
We understand that, and you guys, a lot of you guys understand that, but we want to make sure that when we train even new salespeople, they walk in with that understanding that value is going to change based off the customer, and you want to be able to understand that value before you try to sell it. Okay, and then applicable market standards. So market standards, and as many of you seasoned salespeople know, that's key. When you can walk in and you can start, stating what the standard, the market that those guys and their plants have to follow, you're the expert. All of a sudden, you're the key up above on any of the other competing salespeople. They just walk in there and say, here's a product, go buy it. You're like, no, hold it for your turbine, for your engine. I know you have to meet this standard. This meets it this way and this way and this way, and you can talk like an expert and really position yourself as the sales expert for that customer. So again, all these tools, all these courses, it's kind of exciting, really. A lot of you guys have told me it's really exciting to be able to have that and really walk in with that level of expertise above some of your competition. Okay, and then we realized, any of you guys have been out there for a time, we have Woodward, 155-year-old company. We've got a lot of presentations, a lot of documents out there, but we're going to refresh our collateral, our sales collateral there for presentations, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Okay, switching gears, Sugar CRM, I kind of talked about this a little bit. This is really meant for our current channel partners, because there's about 10 channel partners that are Sugar CRM today, and our sales managers. And, this was a notice that we're making some changes, and we're always making some improvements. And with this, there's a lot of analysis that goes into, well, are we bringing in the right leads? Are our sales managers, are they able to move those leads to opportunities? Are they not? And of course, we want to help you focus on the good leads, and move those to a buy, to a good sales strategy. So we want to help you be able to do that. And with that, we in our Sugar CRM, when we noticed quite a few of the salespeople, your sales managers, were just taking a lead and closing it. And we really don't want those closed. And so this is the notice, like, don't close a lead. We want you to convert a lead to an opportunity. And so we can follow that. Now, if the opportunity doesn't happen, okay, but we want to follow that. Why wasn't that converted to a lead? And so we made some changes recently. And one of them was to take out, when you close a lead, it says, okay, here's 10 different reasons why you closed it. No, wrong. That's not going to work anymore. So we really have you convert a lead to an opportunity, or you have any of these three other options, right? A value less than $25,000. And we don't want you guys to waste your time and filling out all this account information, bring this all the way through for $25,000 or less. Now you can, and we have some sales managers that are, but that's not required from our side. Maybe it's not a sales inquiry. You start talking to them like, well, maybe we can get it repaired. So all of a sudden it becomes a no longer an opportunity. It's maybe a repair or something, right? Another is potential customer not responding. But the message here is sales managers that are using Sugar and Sugar CRM is that let's migrate those through and realize, if you guys get little emails from me, you know who you are, and I'm kind of nudging you. Listen, guys, we're watching you. We're watching you, and when you go through Sugar and you bring in leads, and we send you guys leads, and we're sending a lot of leads out these days with the lead distribution, and we're monitoring those. So please, routinely, I haven't said multiple times, once a day, get in there and look at your leads that we're sending you for customers that are excited to go, they're for a reason. They got on woodward.com and said, hey, can you please send me more information on this? Or I want to talk to somebody about buying a certain product, right? So we're taking that serious, and we're monitoring that. And so keep monitoring and routinely get into Sugar CRM and update that. That's kind of the message there. Okay. I want to make sure how we're going here, sales and info. Okay, we got plenty of time. All right, Sugar CRM training. So there, we have training today. So sales kit, and we'll put that training out also on the collateral on the channel partner collaboration website. Well, there's a training program that's a little big. It's me talking, so it's a little big. But what we'll do is, and I actually have to do some couple updates too. We've made some changes to Sugar CRM, but it's a good training program. Just tells you how to navigate through it, how to look at leads, close leads, move the leads through to an opportunity, how to monitor your opportunities, how to add accounts, how to add contacts and stuff like that. Just kind of basic training there. And please, you know, as Manny said, I myself kind of manage the Sugar CRM. Won the training, but the visibility and a lot of the that stuff. If you're having problems with Sugar CRM, you want a little bit of training or something like that, get a hold of me. I'll help you out. Ultimately, we want to make sure you guys are good, and it's a tool. It's a tool. If you don't understand, you're not going to use it. So we want to make sure you do use it and you do understand it, and we're going to support you. Okay. So here I talked about this a little bit, is our certification-based training program. And what Nate Pickens has the strategy on for you channel partners is that over time, we're going to have these courses, and all these courses, they have a test at the end of them. There's a recorded test to verify the student passed the course. And so we want to be able to use that to position the channel partners at different levels. Maybe you're a bronze, maybe you're a silver, maybe you're a gold, maybe you're a platinum channel partner. And based off of your expertise and your, how many salespeople did you have take this course and pass it? Do you guys have experts on our products or not, on the applications or not? So Nate in our channel partner team really look at that, so you guys can use that to make sure your sales teams are educated on the products, educated on the applications, and you position yourself to be really successful out there. So that's, we want to use that program, and Nate's going to be rolling that out. And maybe he already did. I think he was having a meeting with some of you guys, so maybe he's already talked about that, right? But that's going to be part of this certification-based training. The other for the Woodward salespeople, right, is, if you're a sales level 1, a sales level 2, a sales level 3, this is really how the sales directors are going to start looking at your capability. Listen, how are you up to speed on these products? Do you understand the products? Do you understand the applications? And so this will be a core piece of that level 1, level 2, level 3 is, what products do you know? And what's your breadth of knowledge on Woodward's products, right? So be wary, be ready for that. Although I really don't think it'll be a big issue. It's gonna, if you listen to take the course, you should be able to pass the test, I would say. Okay, we are tracking, and that's, I was going to talk a little bit about that. We have a tracking process, and Woodward already does a lot of tracking, as the Woodward sales managers know, of their classes that they've taken inside of Woodward, and this is going to follow along some of that same way. We're going to track. We're going to each sales manager and what classes they've taken, each channel partner what they've taken, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen the dashboard yet, but there's a dashboard that you can track. Each of you sales managers and get in there and log in and go, okay, oh yeah, that's right. I got one more class to take on that track, right? So there'll be a dashboard that you can look at that Nate and the channel partner team is going to be monitoring, because that's just part of the program. It's a really good program to be able to track and log all that and keep track of that yourself. Onboarding, really, we have some special tracks, and I'm going to show you those here in a little bit. Some of the tracks are really for onboarding. You got a brand new sales guy. Okay, what's a turbine? What's an engine? What's power management? You can easily give him some of these courses, and they can quickly come up to speed. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, the next track is, as I mentioned, right, is what were the products that Woodward has that apply to these applications, and so they'll quickly be able to learn that. And then we've got different tracks that really kind of they can drill down into an application and really understand what's needed there, right? But there may be other tracks that here for maybe a Woodward sales manager, they're only focused on Caterpillar. right? Or Wärtsilä or something. Well, maybe they should just focus on our engine sales tracks, right? And then turbine, same way, maybe a turbine OEM. So there's going to be different tracks that we have, and I'll talk about these in a little bit here as well. We are currently, and maybe this is a group that is more interested this than anything. Part of it is we're bringing everything out in English, and so that's nice. But we do have the capability to convert that to different languages. So if you and your team, and Wade, Pooh, and team over in China, right, and team over in Japan, if it's easier to learn in Japanese or Chinese or something like that, great. Let's convert those. This day and age, it's not that hard to convert those over, so we can do that. Okay. Well, looks like timing's good. Okay, so here is a list, and at one time I counted these, and there was like 182 courses. So we got a lot of courses to create, but we're slowly creating these courses. And here are the different, I've kind of got them listed as tracks, right? So here's a track that maybe here's the basic understanding of the different applications that we're talking about. I noted that earlier. Here's the applications of Woodward products track. So, what do we apply to a heavy frame gas turbine? What do we apply to power management devices? What do we apply to, what's the products we apply on large engines? And it's really, as you can imagine, it'll be focused on our current products. And then we do talk a little bit about, as we drill into these different applications like power management or aeroderivative or heavy frame, you're going to see we talk about upgrading, and power management, upgrading. So when we start talking about upgrading, we're going to talk about some of our legacy products, some of the legacy products that are out there. Okay, you got an old 723 out there. How do you upgrade? What should you be concerned about, right? And so we are going to be talking about some of the legacy products. I'm probably, the more and more I think about this, we're probably going to have some presentations just on legacy turbine controls, right? Legacy engine controls, legacy hydro turbine controls. There's a lot. Woodward, 155 years, we've got a lot of products, and so it would be good, one of your sales guy goes out there and he comes across a 43027. Well, what's a 43027? Well, he should understand what a 43027 is. Many of you guys maybe don't, but a few of us guys with no hair, we do. So that's some of the issue that we have. Okay, and then of course compressors, where we will have these other tracks too that we'll focus on and drill down into compressors and the application of products and compressor control overview and what are the safety and auxiliaries that you should be aware of. Upgrading the compressor controls, differentiation, talked about that. How do we compete in this case? So how do you compete against CCC? So we're going to talk about that. And then in all these cases, you're going to see applicable market standards. You should be the market standard guru, the expert out there, and sound like the expert when you go talk to those end users or your customers, even the OEMs. Okay. All right. So a lot of courses here. Again, we've got several tracks that we would expect your teams are gonna have to take and prove that you've completed a certain track to get a certain level there. Sales managers, same with you. You want to sales level 1, you're probably going to have to take track, the application track and the industrial equipment track. So we're kind of excited. And what I've been doing is what Woodward has been doing is contracting some of the retired Woodward people and some of the experts that have designed these products in the past. We're contracting these guys back, and it's pretty exciting for them because they know these applications, they know these products at the back of their hand, right? And so to have them as the expert for creating that course material, you might say here in the U.S. we would say from the horse's mouth, right from the horse's mouth, right? Because that's we're going to have really good content there, and I'm pretty excited to have these guys on board, kind of contracted again. Okay, so here is a list of the different courses that we're going to bring in that are really product focused, and kind of gives you the idea of the differences. And I think the power management team, we didn't list a bunch of their stuff. They're only kind of focused on the new stuff. but we are going to talk about some of the legacy products as well. But whether it's a turbo machinery product, an engine product, a power management product, here's where we're going to be revitalizing those training programs and revitalizing the like sales presentations and stuff like that. Today we've done a poor job at doing that. To be honest, we just didn't have a team, you know, and when COVID hit and we let a lot of the marketing people go. We're building that team up again. We're gonna be updating our tools, updating our presentations, and it'll look more like a, you know, I would say like a world-class company, and you're gonna be hopefully walk out there and proud to say, yep, here it is. Here's what. Not only do we have this great install base, we do, but quite often, I know it, you know it, our sales presentations aren't quite there. So we're working towards improving those. Okay. Now we come in time-wise. That's good. I'm always time guy. You just watch the time, make sure that's working out okay, and that looks good. Okay. Here is what we talked about before, and this is what's kind of exciting to us as we're bringing these guys on, is kind of a sales enablement portal. And that portal is really, and you guys are all going to have licenses. All the channel partners, all the sales managers are going to have a license. And if you want to get in and you want to get access some content for a presentation, this is where you're going to go. You want to take those classes I talked about, learning and coaching classes, this is where you're going to go. And I'll talk a little bit more about coaching. We even have some AI coaching capability, which is pretty powerful there as well. Strategy and planning. So a lot of this is going to be, you know, a portal like this. Not only will you just be able to open it up and get information, we're going to be pushing information towards you. And when we have a new release, the PMMs have a new release, we're, you know, at the top of your page, new release, click this button to find out more information. So we're going to be pushing that onto your portal so you can keep up to speed. Now we'll still be holding these sales enablement webinars. However, quite often you want to understand the latest data, the latest release, what's going on. It should be available right from your portal. So we'll be making that available, right? And a lot of this is about, you know, content automation and buyer engagement. I kind of lump these two to the same. Another feature that we want to bring out, a capability, is that you can create your own digital sales room. So if you're going out to a customer, you say, listen, I know I'm going to be talking about a Peak 150, I'm going to talk about a TG actuator, whatever it is, maybe it's a Micronet system and a ProTech or something. You can pull that all that content in to your digital sales room. So you get all this content automation, bring all that, and that may be sales presentations, brochures, case studies, bring all that in your digital sales room. And then if you're doing it online, great. You look everything's right there at your fingertips, you might say. You can easily pull over, open it up, and talk to the customer about it. And sales team and channel partners, I listen to you guys, and quite often I've been there too, where you don't have an internet connection, right? So you'll have the capability to create your digital sales room and store that on your computer. All that information about that presentation, about that product, whatever you're talking about, will be there on your computer, easily available. So that's going to be nice. And then there's many features. This Seismic Enablement Cloud, they bring a lot of features that even I didn't really think of in the past. But one of them is, after you've left the customer and he's got 5 questions, right? And so you can go back, find the answers to those questions, create and then bring out the presentation, maybe update the presentation, remind him, bring back the product specs, some of that stuff. That digital sales room that you created, you'll create a link to that for your channel, your customer, and then he can link in and walk through the different case studies, a little bit more information on the product, maybe there's, he wants to look through the sales presentation again. He can do all that. But what's nice, and that's what's over here on the right side, is this intelligence. So now you can go in there after he's gotten into your link, went in there and went through the little digital sales room. You can see what that customer liked and what he did not. Where did he visit? He didn't, he looked at a case study, blah, blah, blah. He didn't look at the product spec, but he looked at the sales presentation again. You'll have all that intelligence about where he went and what he thought and how much time he spent. A case study, he spent 5 minutes there. He walked through this other thing and spent 30 seconds. So you'll have all that capability to be able to really go in and judge what's important to that customer and what's not. Pretty powerful cloud enablement tool we're bringing, and it's not completely done yet. We're just got to kick it off, but you can see the power of that and what tools and capability and credibility it's going to bring you and your team. Okay, so here's really some of our focus there is, you can see with the portal and the training and all that stuff, we're really trying to make, it easy for you to get sales content. I mentioned that before. The search engine and Seismic and that portal is really powerful. So you can just search it. It's going to bring it all up. It also has, I forgot about that. I didn't actually tell the team this morning about that either, but it has a frequently used, section too. So then you can say, I'm always using this presentation on the 505. It pops it up there. It says, you're typically using that for your digital sales room. So we'll just put links over here to some of these sales presentations, product spec, case studies, whatever it is that it looks like you use that pretty frequently. So again, and really making it easy to pull the information instead of going and looking for it all the time. It's going to be really easy to create that sales presentation or that sales connection to that customer. Onboarding sellers faster. Hopefully, everything I've talked about, the training and being able to find information. I know some of the sales managers we brought on recently, and they struggled to find where's that information again? How's that? So all that, with all that content being in that portal, that's going to be very powerful and easy for you guys to find. Easy to use software. I kind of talked about, hopefully when you send them a link to your digital sales room, it's easy to engage the buyers. The buyers are customers. They call buyers. I would call them a customer, and easily convert them and hopefully repeat customers. They're happy. You come across as the expert to them, and they understand what they're getting. They get good Woodward products, so hopefully that brings repeat customers. And then there's a feature I haven't really talked about a lot. And I haven't spent that much time with it, but there's personalized coaching capability. So there is capability in the Seismic where once you have taken a class or taken a course, you can practice your pitch, your sales pitch, right? You say, okay, I'm going to practice, and I'm going to pretend that I'm going to give I'm going to sell to this customer, and then you can give your presentation. And this coach, this AI coach, then comes back and says, this was good, but maybe you might want to think about that, or maybe you had too many ums, or whatever. But it's good coaching, and it's really personalized coaching, right? So you don't have to share that. People are like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't realize I was doing that. That's good to know. So it may be good every once in a while just to have some of that coaching. So again, another pretty powerful tool that we're bringing in all that out. Right now we're scheduled to start releasing some of the classes and courses and hopefully this sales enablement platform sometime in January. And we're shooting for early January, but I don't know, it may be late January, but we're shooting for January 2026, and we'll keep you guys up to speed on that. Okay, we're making pretty good time. I'm getting a lot of talking in, so that's good as well for me as well. Okay, so time to do product updates. Let's talk about a little bit about product updates. So product updates, And this is a list, and it's a limited list. You know, Woodward, we are an OEM, still an OEM provider, and we have a lot of projects that we work on for the OEMs that we're not listing here. And so there's a lot of these new products. One of them was the new actuator, the X Series actuator. The X Series actuator that Robbie and team are working on. That'll be interesting. So we'll bring out more information on that, because that'll affect this group, and some of this group will be able to upgrade, you know, some of the old valves and old tech jets and a bunch of that stuff, and we'll really detail what you can and can't do that with that. But here's just a kind of a subset, just kind of a market-based list of projects that our development team's working on. Micronet XT, and I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. There's multiple releases, and many of you have heard, maybe some of you haven't heard, right? We've got we've got a Micronet system, and it's been selling. It's popular out there. Micronet Plus, Micronet TMR, we're selling the heck out of them yet. People love them. However, we realize at some point we got to make the step. We got to make a step and design a new package that's updated, refreshed, has new capability, has new technology, meets all the new cyber standards, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but we are bringing that. And that's where, to tell you the truth, that's where most of our resources are focused at, is because you just basically, you know, throw away the old design and start over. And whew, it takes quite a bit to do that. And then here is a list of the different, you know, so a lot of our IPCS products, the LS6, the DTSC, the Easy Sim, the remote IO capability, you know, our remote IO modules, the EasyView, the LECM, bunch of these are really, you know, bought by many, many people, and they're not OEM specific. So we're listing them out here. And that's why a bunch of this, the Flux 500, that's why a bunch of this stuff is listed here. And as we bring out, you know, maybe OEM specific products, and we believe this is it's a good time to bring out to this team, we will. But you know, just realize this is a limited list. Okay, so I wanted to kind of step down into a roadmap a little bit further. DTSC 200 has been a very popular product. So digital transfer switch, and the digital transfer switch for a lot of the different stations out there, as we you know, what do they even call them, the DTSC is used in a lot of stations out there for engines and transferring engines over for a lot of these packages. Can't even think of the name now. Service model, so EasyView, we're bringing out EasyView. And really for this team, you know, we have the EasyView, and we have a lot of the EasyGen and all these products. But what we want to bring out is more services. And some of these services are services that you can upsell. So maybe we bring out a EasyView model, but you say, hey, you know, Mr. Customer, why don't we come out there in 2 years and upgrade the software right at your site? So we want to bring out some of these models that actually allows customers and the channel partners, yourself, Woodward Field Service teams, to upgrade the products themselves. So service model, we're really kind of focused on service model. So you're going to see more services for sale along those IPCS type of products. So data centers is what I was thinking of before. So a lot of these DTSCs are used in data centers. I don't know why I couldn't think of data centers, but that was and as you know, or if you've been following the market, data centers are really exploding now, and Woodward's DTSC has a huge market share in there. There's a lot of people have standardized on that. We keep bringing up improvements to that, so that's very popular, and we're pretty excited to continue to improve that and sell that. And then our this is really our remote module there. So we're bringing out some usability tools with our remote module. And these modules, remote IO modules, interface with like the EasyGen, EasyView. So they give a lot more. You can see we're Another release there, simplified usability. So we're continuing to make improvements. Well, change that now. You're going to see that we're going to be focused on. But we really want to listen to you guys as well, right? You guys are the market. You're to us, you're the fingers of the hand out there. You guys are out there daily. Your service teams are out there daily working with customers. You know, or you have a great idea of what they need. Feed that back to us. We can then bring that capability into our products, make it easier for you to sell them. And so it's a win-win. If we make a product easier for you guys to sell, you guys are going to sell more. And we really want good feedback from your teams as to how we can improve our products and or how you really solve a problem. You know, you're going to hear that from the PMMs. They're, okay, what are the market problems? And quite often we don't think of them as market problems because, this is just kind of a hassle. But if we can make their products easier to use, we can sell them and you're going to be able to sell them a lot easier over the competition. Okay, LS6, we're bringing out some redundancy, redundant control, and some increased safety. So I'm not going to talk a lot about that. As we roll these out, we will be now educating you guys more and more on what those specifically are. This was kind of a list from the IPCS team. I wanted to bring it out to you guys and just to make you guys aware of it. Many of you guys are a lot more familiar with the IPCS products than us, the sales enablement or marketing team are, right? EasySim. So on premises, a lot of the capability was always over the internet. You got to have internet connection. And we again listened to some of you sales managers from channel partners and from Woodward sales managers that on premises we need more capability. That hey, we need to be able to simulate this stuff without being connected to the internet. So we're bringing out some of that capability. CPU upgrade for a PGX controller. Really pushing IT security standards. So some of the cybersecurity standards out there, we're now bringing up in the CPU and in our new software and operating system. So you're going to see that capability. Superior plug-in, so hopefully we'll be able to easily upgrade that in the future in the field. And then in the past, and you guys know our IPCS products, right? Generator to generator, load sharing, we're great there. Plant tie to plant tie to plant tie, all these different configurations. We're really connected well there. Where we never really had, when we focused on the mains tie, it was really just the mains and maybe have a redundant main connection. But it really wasn't, mains to mains tie. Some of that, when you step outside the plant, Woodward didn't focus on that as much. So now you're going to see we're going to be more focused on that, and we're going to bringing that out. It's to be determined. I think a little bit of it is, what all capability do we want to bring that out with? Our digital transfer switch controller 500, which doesn't exist. And EasyView 4.0, which doesn't exist. Those are all products that it's our idea. We're starting to put together a list. We bring out that next version. What should it have? And again, feedback. So we wanted to bring this in front of the sales team. We're thinking to the next level, right? What do we in the future, 2 years from now or something like that, right? What capabilities, functionalities do we want and do your customers need that our channel partners can't do, right? So that's the packaging ideas that we want, and that's what the type of feedback we want from you guys. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to focus a little bit on the Micronet XT. Now the Micronet XT. Micronet XT stands for extended technology. So Micronet has been a great product name, and in reality, we wanted to make sure we kept the Micronet name because a lot of the standards out there, and you guys know, you get a standard from ADNOC or from Pussery or something like that, and says it's got to be a Micronet. Okay, well, if we change this name of this new controller to something else, then it doesn't meet the spec, right? So we want, and plus Micronet has a really good market brand name out there. But extended technology, and you're going to see we've extended a lot of that technology. we've created, new chassis, new power supplies, new CPUs, new I/O modules, all that capability, like webinar, and the hot swappable capability. The old system had it. The new one's going to have it as well. Expandable, scalable, redundancy. You can choose redundancy to whatever level. You want redundant channels. You want redundant power supplies, redundant CPUs, redundant I/O modules, redundant chassis, all scalable. However, as you can imagine, to make something that scalable and that flexible, takes a while to create. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the release times, and we can't create everything at the same time and release it. I wish we could. It costs a little bit of money to do that. So we've staged some of the releases dates, and I'm going to be talking about that here soon. But, here's some of the cybersecurity stuff we're bringing out. We'll be bringing out some of the safety certifications. There's some OEM IP protection, just some real cool technology. And I bragged about this morning. I'll brag about this again. One of the things that I really like is this temperature range without fans. So the old Micronet system, our current Micronet Plus and Micronet TMR, great product lines out there. We're going to continue to support that. And that's another message I want to make sure this team has. We are not supporting the Micronet Plus and Micronet TMR because of the stage release. I think we were talking like 2038 or something like that. Don't quote me, because Tobias is going to go crazy. But I think right now we're saying, hey guys, we're going to continue to support these, and we want you to be able to continue to sell the Micronet in the Micronet Plus and Micronet TMR for years and years and years. And again, as you guys know, sometimes you have a customer, it's an early adopter. They're all excited about, okay, I want the new technology. You have the other ones that go, well, new technology can burn you. So I want to give that 2 or 3 years before I switch over to it. Well, what's nice about the way we're bringing this out is you can do either. Tell you what, you want to keep your Micronet Plus, Micronet TMR, Woodward's got your back. We're going to continue to support that product line. Or, and you're going to see some of the release dates here in 2026. We're bringing out more of this capability and with the Micronet XT. And people want the latest technology. They want the fastest, best technology, the latest. You can sell that to them as well. Kind of you can gauge their interest either way. But message is we're going to support Micronet Plus TMR and Micronet TMR long term. Now, get back to my, I got off on a tangent there, but what I like about this unit with this temperature range is no fans, and anybody that's installed the Micronet Plus and the Micronet Plus TMR, right, and you have 3 fans on top, and they're, it's close the door in the cabinet and then you can talk, right? They're good, they're moving temperature, that's all fine. But now we've got new technology. We can run at those type of temperatures long term, and of course we build it Woodward Robust. And Woodward Robust is this son of a gun is going to work for years and maybe longer than it should. Anybody that's been involved with 505 stuff, maybe it's too well designed, but it's going to be robust and it's going to operate out there. A bragging right that we have is we've already got some Micronet XT platforms out there running, and one of them was for the U.S. Navy. And the U.S. Navy, they wanted a new product. They heard about this product. They wanted it. They came in. They pushed us. How soon can you get us this product? So we got it to them, and that's what a lot of our focus has been. Okay, what do we need to give them a product to test on their first real test on their ships, right? Some of the ships and applications that they're going to be applying these are. And of course, they test the robustness. Okay, Woodward, that's great. You got a nice robust product. Prove it to us. And so the test for U.S. Navy is that they're going to put this control on a barge, and they're going to blow this barge up in the water. They put explosives underneath it, and they blow it up to at least 10 feet high, and then it has to come down and land on this barge. and continue to work. First application, first test of this thing passed flawlessly. So great design, great robustness. All of a sudden, everybody's slapping themselves in the back. Great design. Woodward, we're sticking with you. We want to start standardizing. This is a robust product. So once we get it out there, you're going to see this is going to be a pretty robust and powerful product, and one that we're pretty excited about to release. Okay. Some of the key market values: purpose built. You guys know that, scalable and cost competitive. Blah blah blah. 5 milliseconds. We do have some capability to do 1 millisecond. We've talked about that. Obviously, time stamping and stuff like that, we're doing 1 millisecond. Expandable using a local or distributed I/O. And I think I talk about it on the next page. Yeah, direct wiring. So a lot of you guys today, you understand what PLC is, programmable logic controller. And you have the Rockwell ControlLogix, which is pretty popular out there. You have the Siemens S7, is pretty popular out there, right? This is what I really want to push as a PLC as well. And that is direct wiring. So you don't necessarily need FTMs, field termination modules. You can wire direct to this, the same as you can wire to a Rockwell ControlLogix or a Siemens S7. Pull that out, put the Woodward system in there, and here is where, I didn't realize how important that was to a lot of end users. But you walk over there, I want a purpose-built product. I want something designed for an engine, designed to run a turbine. I don't want this little PLC thing that's going to turn on and off lights. I want something that's purpose-built. And what's great about this package is you have that power of the Micronet and redundancy built into there. Plus, you've got the capability to really look at the size of this thing. It's much smaller, so it's much more like a typical PLC. So you can scale it up, scale it down. You want to use it to replace a Micronet Plus. You use it to replace an Atlas. I've got that. Maybe. Oh yeah, right. Size to easily replace the Atlas, right here. So exciting product. We're putting a lot of effort into it. And I think it's going to hit the market, and we've already got people begging for this thing. Can you just let me sell this thing? We will. We'll get it out there. And then, so here's some of the capability too. CyberSecure SL2, and if any of you guys know SL2, it's fairly stringent cybersecure certification. And then, but we're also trying to make it so you can easily upgrade software. You've got the plant's got software in their Micronet Plus, Micronet TMR that's been working for years, and great. Don't throw that away. Let's move that to the next technology, the extended technology, the Micronet XT system. Keep that same known software. Make changes, updates if you want it, but you don't have to throw that away. You don't have to retest all that stuff. It's so that conversion from old to new, we've made really easy, and we've made it so you're familiar with App Manager tool, the Control Assistant tool, all those tools. You have that same capability, and you don't have to learn new tools, right? So we've done a good job in backwards to be able to interface with that. Now, if you want to add a field termination module on here, you can put an FTM on here and run that down. And to tell you, to be honest, a lot of these end users require an FTM because they want to land their wiring down there in the field termination module and give them a place to easily troubleshoot what's going on. And any of you guys that have worked with ControlLogix, Rockwells, or the S7s and stuff like that, you understand when you're wiring to the front of this, there's a lot of I/O there, and that wiring is pretty small. It's a little hard to wire to. So even though people are excited, and the U.S. Navy's, most of their systems are not going to have FTMs. They're going to wire direct just because on a ship or something like that, space is money, right? So they don't have much space. However, it's not so easy to troubleshoot as well. So when you're selling this, remember, okay, Mr. Customer, how easy do you want to be able to access and troubleshoot the system? You can make it pretty compact, but with that becomes a little bit less access to those inputs and outputs. Okay. All right. Let's see here as we continue on. I think I'm running a little. Let's see here. 9:20. Okay. Yeah, we should be good. 8:50. Okay. Got a few more minutes, so that's good. And I don't have that many more slides. So Micronet XT, and we're talking about phased release, but you know, so we created 14 slot, 10 slot, 6 slot power supply or chassis with different power supplies in there. Power supply options, low voltage and high voltage. And if you remember in the past, we had low voltage, high voltage, and like a medium voltage. And in this case, we took the medium voltage and the high voltage, we packaged them together. So we really only have 2 power supply models now. Nice to sell. Nice that you don't have to packaged in one package. In the past, you had to buy a Micronet safety module. You had to buy a, you know, Protect TPS and mount that off somewhere. Now we'll have a safety functionality right in the unit itself. So really nice package system there. IO communications, we'll talk a little bit about that. Gigabit Ethernet systems, IO modules. We've got different, I'll talk about some of the flexible IO module systems we've got, and then safety CPU and control CPU. All right. I do want to note that if you're selling a simplex system, we've designed it so that simplex being that you're only using one power supply, you can pull that second, you know, that area where there's a redundant power supply out, you can put more modules in there. So flexible slot for power supplies or 2 extra IO modules. So that's kind of powerful, especially if you're just doing simple PLC logic or something like that, and you know it's not that critical an application. You can add more IO modules right to the system. So that's kind of powerful. Okay, Micronet XT releases. We've got we've already released the 14 slot chassis, CPU, low voltage power supply, and then we call this flexible IO module, which is thermocouples and analog inputs and outputs and speed inputs, of course. We've already got those. That's kind of what the Navy's using, right? The Navy's using to test and operate. They're all on gas turbines. Navy's using most of those are all on LM2500 gas turbines or Rolls-Royce gas turbines as well. And then we're bringing out, so we've also released the discrete IO modules, of course, and then some cables and FTMs. So these are all out there and released today. We do realize that really that gives you the capability of Woodward's Flex 500. So a lot of people today are like, well, okay, I'm going to buy this new, you know, this new Micronet XT, but this capability gives me nothing more than what the Flex 500 is. So they're sticking with the Flex 500. That's fine. But we call these different releases. So this is line replaceable unit 1. So that's a unit, line replaceable unit 2. So that's a next release. And that next release was going to have redundancy. So we realized the real reason people buy a Micronet Plus or a Micronet TMR, they want some level of redundancy, right? And CPU redundancy or something like that. So we're really focused on that. And you're going to see, I think this is going to be brought out in late 2026. So in a few more months, we're really focused on bringing out all the actuator control modules, some extra IO modules, analog modules, smart heads, so you have expansion racks. We're bringing all that stuff out late 2026. And then IO restricted turbines, so we get different chassis, you know, a 6 slot, a 10 slot. We're bringing out some of that. Atlet XT, so PowerSense. So now we're bringing out a PowerSense module. In Atlas XT, it's the Atlas, the power it had was that it had PowerSense, built-in PowerSense capability. So you got synchronizing, PowerSense, load sense, load sharing, all that capability built into this PowerSense. We're going to bring that into the Micronet as well. So Micronet will have that connection as well. So that's kind of cool. Full Micronet replacement without TMR. We are talking triple module redundant releases over here, SIL 2, safety and integrity level 2, and this SIL level 3. Some of those are going to be, we're still trying to figure out our schedule on that. So we'll talk about that later. Probably maybe the next sales enablement meeting. And this picture up here kind of tells you the architecture that this thing's built up on. So you got a real-time CPU, comms, and real-time controller, and it's out there, and it's going to connect over to this bus. Bus talks to a bunch of I/O modules, right? So just kind of gives you an idea. Here's the architecture that we built. Remote head, so now you can go a safety PLC. You want a safety CPU in there. It's got its own safety I/O modules. It's kind of a standalone area there. It's got its own bus that communicates. All that stuff communicates without communicating to the non-safety. However, and it doesn't really show this here, but there is a way to bring non-safety logic into the safety logic CPU if it needs to be. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, well, here's some of the phased releases that we're talking about. The phased releases for the Micronet is, you can see some of them already been released in calendar year 2024. Here's, we're releasing a lot of stuff for the Marine, for the military, U.S. Navy, in calendar year 25. And then this PowerSense and, we call Micronet Plus replacement, but that was redundancy. Redundancy's coming out in these type of releases. So that's what a lot of you guys are waiting for, I understand, is a redundant Micronet XT that you can replace the Micronet Plus with, and then in the future here, Micronet TMR and the different safety packages. So because of this extension out here where we're concerned out, right, we're going to continue to support Micronet Plus, and we're going to continue to support the Micronet TMR. And like I said, to 2038, we have timelines, and we're buying up parts. We're making sure we can support, we can repair, we can sell, we can support those. So don't, if your customers are concerned about any of this new technology, keep selling the Micronet Plus, keep selling Micronet TMR. We've got your back, and we've got their back. Okay. Well, so one more. I'm going to, maybe I'm a little over. I was thinking I was good timing, but maybe I'm a little over, and then we can quickly do that. I'm gonna kind of step past this Vertex compressor control upgrade. We upgraded the core control and some of that. However, this presentation will be available for all you guys to refer to. So if you have any questions on this, this was just another release. We just released the core upgrade on this on October 24th in 2025. So with that, Maddie, I'm going to quit talking for a little bit and allow you to turn on and so you can show Simon's video.
Yep. Let me switch this. So we have about 7 minutes from Simon about power management product updates. I'm going to be resharing because I forgot to include sound. Give me one moment.